Here are the markets and how they're starting off. About 83 points higher in the session at the start, about a third of a percent. Now this is 23,500. We've now crossed 23,500. A lot of calls around this level. It'll be interesting to see whether we hold this for the better part of the day and what does that do to some of those calls as we close in on the expiry. Well, banks about a quarter of a percent, mid caps and small caps, which are very active in Friday's session. About a third of a percent, nothing too dramatic really. Small caps though 0.75% higher, so clearly the broad end of the spectrum has a lot to talk. But I'm interested in the large caps today because there are a bunch of newsmakers. Pharma, M&M, the Adani twins, IT. Let's get the heat map up on the screen and show you what's moving and what's not. Okay, on cue, Adani Enterprises about a couple of percentage points. Promoters increasing stake by 2%. M&M post the analyst meet 1.5% higher. Wipro, Taman was speaking about the positive news flow on Wipro, that's up about 1%. Adani Ports, gets a green nod, up about 1.25%. Then Infosys on the brokerage notes, up about 1%. What else on the gaining side? Not too much, maybe an ONGC, but the losers. And Pharma is down, TCS is down. Of course, not a lot of those pharma names are a part of the index, so maybe Tamanna will be able to better highlight them. But Dr. Reddy is certainly taking it on the chin as expected, 1.5% lower. TCS on that US lawsuit is down about 1% as well. There's weakness in HDFC Life again. Maruti corrects a little bit. Reliance and HDFC Bank, the heavies, which are participating in trade last week, are just about quiet. So on a day when the markets have started off about a quarter of a percent, is the Adani twins, Wipro and Infy, so the IT twins, and Mahindra, which are taking center stage on the gaining side, and Dr. Reddy's on the losing side. Tamanna, we must highlight what's happening at the broader end of the spectrum on the pharma stocks as well. Yeah. The Oros, Ciplas of the world could be interesting.
Absolutely. They will also see a bit of pain. Maruti perhaps also reacting to the Hyundai IPO news and details. They're going to have company now as a large passenger vehicle maker. But let's pull up the indices first on what's happening on the mid cap and the small cap. And this Tuesday morning, the Nifty mid cap 150 about 0.5% up. The small cap index, let's pull that up as well, about 1% up. So this is where all the action is, and we'll get to the pharma stocks that Neeraj was talking about. But first on my list is Som Distilleries that I wanted to talk about. A shocking story really of child labor at one of their MP units. That's talk about 6% down in open trade. Zomato and Paytm are the other two that we wanted to track, and that's a big move for both. But Paytm seems to be more positive right now than Zomato as a possible potential buyer of their ticketing business. HAL in focus, defense is in focus, and HAL, it's nearly a 45 to 50,000 crore rupee order for light combat helicopters from the defense ministry right on the get-go as soon as the new government and the new ministry and the new minister is in. So that is positive, 4.5% up. HOEC Hindustan Oil, we spoke to the management. Two of their wells which were blocked have been cleaned up. This opens up their export pipeline as well, 5% up on the stock. HFCL, because they've not been indicted in dumping of optic fiber cables, they're the only Indian company not to be. Now on the wall, let's get some of those pharma companies that Neeraj was talking about. Whether it's a Cipla, a DRL, of course we saw on the index, but a Lupin, a Cipla is doing okay. Aurobindo I want to see, Torrent, Sun I want to see, and see what's happening with all of them. Sun is doing fine. Remember, the City note said that relatively Sun Pharma is okay. They don't have that much of an exposure, but Aurobindo Pharma about 1% down. All in all, not really taking a knock on the chin, Neeraj, as per that City note. Dr. Reddy's, remember, has a Jeffries note also, which was a bit bearish on it. But like Sunny was saying, maybe the street also waiting to hear from some of these companies on what is the exact impact as far as they're concerned. So we're not seeing too much of a negative move on pharma companies, despite this being worrisome that their sales prices or their drug prices fall 24% between April and June. But not too bad this morning. The focus, I think, still continues with PSUs, and all of the oil pack is up this morning.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, not too much of a damage. Maybe a good day helping as well, because the top loser on the Nifty 500 is Zydus Life, down just about 2.37%. So not deep gashes. What's done well, aside of the stocks that we already spotted about, Cardin Reach is up 7%. HBL Power is up about 8%. SKF adds another 4.5%. There is Masgon, of course, we spoke about it, 5.5% higher. Schneider Electric, another 4.5%. So a lot of stocks are flying around, but no double-digit gains either, while there are not too many losses. So that's the long and short of how we've started off thus far. But yep, defense still in focus. Now, Sunny, we had a very long conversation on defense names.